mind the self, and also to see how much you yourself put in action. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to remind and to go deeper. And it is a topic that is very relevant to all of us here, and to really to the whole world. Because if you do something like this suddenly to someone, they react in a way that shows they have a subconscious fear, a constant fear, something sudden, and immediately they react, which means the fear is underneath, but very much on the surface. And there are different fears, but which fears do you think are on the top of the list? Which fears do you think are the most severe fears for people, or frequent? Yes, please. Fear of death. Fear of death. Who thinks that fear of death is the first one? Fear of death. I would say even people when they don't speak about death, and in fact, it's not a coincidence that they do not speak about death. They make so much seminars and educational seminars, classes for birth, how to give birth, everything around birth. But they don't have similar seminars about death. And perhaps because there is, of course, ignorance, but also fear. And they don't want to touch. There is some kind of silence around death. We don't speak much about death. All of us avoid. Yes? Yes, yes. Thank you. So the fear of death, yes, it is on the top of the list. Other fear?
Fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown.
Unknown.
Unknown, yes. Fear of the unknown. Absolutely. Fear of the unknown. What else?
Fear of future.
Fear of future, because also it is unknown. Very correct. What else? Yes, please. Fear of? Yes, the fear of losing someone, which is also death, maybe, but
Maybe
it's a
they leave
fear.
you.
Hmm?
Maybe someone leave you. You're fearing.
Or you're fearing that someone will leave you. Yes. And what is behind? We'll see what is behind all fears, actually. There is one common thing behind all fears.
Loneliness.
Hmm?
Loneliness.
Loneliness, the fear of loneliness, absolutely.
Attachment. Behind the fear is attachment.
Behind the fear is attachment. We'll see what is exactly behind fear. Yes, you're right. You're very right. But would like to see it in detail. Other fears? Yes, please. Failure. The fear of failure. Yes, yes.
Yeah, I wanted to say more related to the self, that the fear of not being good enough.
You feel you're not good enough. Maybe we have very high standards and a kind of perfectionism, and we are afraid that we are never good enough in compared to our standards that are very high sometimes.
Fear of confidence.
Fear of confidence, lack of confidence. One is afraid that they're not confident enough. Yeah, right. Very much so. And fear also of speaking in front of others, like me now. Maybe, yes. I'm just checking. Agoraphobia, as we say. The fear to be in front of the agora. Agora is a Greek word and means I speak. Agoraphobia. It was the place in ancient Greece where people would gather and express their opinions, and they would chat, the philosophers, anyone. So another fear?
Fear of pain and suffering.
Fear of pain, for sure. Fear of suffering. And fear of, very good, another fear, more than even the animals. Some people have fear of animals, but we have fear of people, fear of humans. We are afraid of each other. We're afraid that we're going to meet a person or certain people. We have some fear with certain people. Amazing, eh? Sometimes we are afraid more of people than the animals. Animals also. So different kind of fears, and behind all of them, we could say that a common thing is, and it was already said, it is attachment, but we will see how. An attachment brings what? Fear of losing something. Behind is a fear of losing something. When it is about pain, we're afraid that we lose this stage of comfort, where, the body doesn't feel anything uncomfortable. Or, of course, very obvious when it is about other people. We're afraid of losing the person, but also the feelings that are connected with the person, associated with the person. What the person, we say, makes us feel. So we're afraid of losing those feelings.
Fear of change.
Fear of change. Definitely the fear of losing, in other words, the comfort zone, what we are familiar with. And what we are familiar with, it might not be necessarily the best, but because we are familiar and we know it, it's the fear of the unknown also, as we said earlier. Anything else you would like to share so far? Yes, please.
The fear of not finding love within or without.
The fear of not finding, experiencing love from within, which means love for others, I would say, to love others, or to experience love from others. Although I think that when we say we don't experience love from others, basically, again, love is something that we feel. So it's our own blockage that doesn't allow us to feel what otherwise should be natural and normal for everyone, because this is our nature. So something is blocked there, but because we don't know exactly what's going on, one is that we think that we will find love from somewhere else, and we're afraid that we will not because we're dependent on someone else. But then you said also fear of not experiencing love from within. This we can master. What others are doing, we cannot. But when we master the inner love, we don't need the outside to depend on others to give us love. It is a topic for sure. But coming back to chains, fear of chains, I see quite a few who are here today, were yesterday also in the seminar that we had, and we were sharing how one of the laws that is going on constantly in this physical environment, physical world, is change. Everything changes. We're not the same ones from the moment we came here. Physically, we have created thoughts, time has changed, so many things have changed on the planet. It's like, we can see the world and change. You know how in the films, on the reels, we have slides that unfold one after the other. And they have, in a certain amount of time, maybe in 1 second, 24 slides or something like this. And then they change one slide after the other, and then you see movement. You think that someone is moving. In the same way, this physical world is like a film, and there are global slides that unfold one after the other, and we feel there is movement. All I'm trying to say, basically, which is not exactly the topic, is that there is constant change, but we don't realize it. And yes, and we have this attitude of being afraid. It's a habit to be afraid also. It has become a habit. Often there's no reason. But there is something subconsciously that some kind of attitude, some kind of lack of understanding about life that makes us feel fear. Even when we go for holidays, we're planning to go holidays, and we're afraid, we're worried that something may go wrong. There is some anxiety when we travel. I may miss the plane, something may go wrong. So there is a fear, even with pleasant things. So it is really very, very important topic, and we're going to discuss some aspects. So fear also, we can say, that is a natural instinct in humans. It is like an inbuilt mechanism that exists within us in order to protect us from danger. For example, if I go to downtown in Kuwait and all of a sudden there is, what animals you have in the desert?
Tigers.
Tigers.
We have lizards. We have lizards.
Let's say tiger, since you mentioned tiger. Let's say a tiger. I sounded very ignorant, like what animals you have in the desert.
Maybe it's running out from the zoo.
Maybe. So some tiger came out from the zoo, and you are in Kuwait city, wanted to enjoy a very safe coffee, and all of a sudden the tiger appears. And what happens? Automatically,
Start taking pictures.
apart from taking selfies with the tiger, the body immediately activates a mechanism where the fear creates some a high blood pressure, and the heart starts beating more fast,
The amygdala.
so that the oxygen, the
The
amygdala, yes, and
amygdala.
right. And so in this way, blood goes, more oxygen goes to the muscles. So if we need to jump 56 meters, we'll be able to do so out of the fear. So this fear creates some kind of chemistry in the body, and some mechanism is activated. Many details, but I just mentioned a few of the things that we know that happen, how the heart starts beating, and you can do things that you cannot do in normal conditions, because the fear stimulates all of this. And then you can run marathon out of the fear. So you can save yourself because of the fear. If there was no fear, you wouldn't be able to save yourself. Probably you would be eaten. But I would like to ask you, how many times have you come across a tiger in Kuwait downtown? How many times in Nasik you have seen a tiger?
Many times when I used to work
There, many times.
for
People.
my boss.
Yes, yes. That's why we said we're afraid of people as well. They are a little bit like tigers sometimes. They show their nails and their teeth, their feelings. So, fear. And this fear, as we said, makes the body very elastic and very fast with all this mechanism that's activated. But this mechanism is, we can say, a luxurious mechanism. It's something that we are not supposed to experience often. Because also the body cannot afford this kind of reactions often. They are for once in a while. As we said, it's something luxurious. to experience such fear that can give you such chemicals and such reactions in the body. And if we feel the fear, often what happens is that the body is depleted. I would like to use an example. Let's say in a country, right? You have different ministries. And one of them is the Ministry of Exterior Affairs, or the Army, how you call it, the Defense Ministry.
Hello, hi dear, how are you? Good to see you. Oh, she's not trying to do something. Okay.
So you have the Defense Ministry, and the Army exists not to be used often, right? Only in emergencies. So the situations of danger are emergencies. And as we said, the fear is a response of emergency. You cannot feel it. You shouldn't feel it very often. In the same way that the defense ministry and all the arms and all of these that the country has are not meant for a regular, ordinary life. They're when there is an extra danger. And when this army is used for a prolonged time, then what happens? The rest of the ministries or the rest of the activities, like in the country, are compromised, are neglected. So the education system, the other systems, the education system is neglected because the attention, the money goes to the war or to the defense. The health system, the social system, the infrastructure, all of these are neglected. So the same thing, when we have a lot of fear, the body's priority, of course, the body is very wise and has priorities. And of course, when you are in danger, what the body perceives as danger, right? Then all the attention will go there. It will be top priority and it will neglect other things. So now we definitely feel exaggerated, in an exaggerated way, fear. Yes, it is an instinct that is there to protect us, but we feel fear almost constantly, all of us. Maybe we don't realize it, but there are thoughts of worries. There is a subtle or a gross subconscious fear. Some stress, some anxiety, some worry, all of these are forms of fear. If we check our thoughts the last 1 hour, maybe I had the fear subtly that I will not be on time, or the fear that some fear is there. Not to mention the chronic fears that we all have. And we'll come to this. Hopefully we'll get the time, because also, as we said, it's a very interesting topic, and it's a topic that we all relate to. But feel free all along if you have something you would like to share or to ask, either while we're sharing or definitely at the end. There are different reasons why we have created fears. Let's see now. Okay, we all understand that we have fears, and many others that we didn't even mention. So we have fears, but let us see what is the main reasons for our fears, the exaggerated ones, not the ones that are for once in our life or 5 times in our life. Because yes, maybe 4 or 5 times in our lives we could justify these palpitations in the heart and the strong fears. So one of the reasons we have fears is what we call associations. We make associations, and we make associations in our life in an extended way, again, in an exaggerated way. Sorry, very rarely I have asked for water, but it is here and no, thank you very much. Sorry for that, but I feel so associations. Let me give an example. Let's say I walk in the street and I love animals. I really love animals. Let's say I'm someone who loves animals, really. I personally love animals. I haven't met a tiger. I don't know if I will show love to the tiger. If it doesn't attack me, I don't have any problem. But you love the cats, you love the dogs. And usually you, especially as a child, imagine someone is a child and the children have the innocence and they want to play with animals. And so let's say I'm a child that I walk in the street and out of habit and out of my love, I see a very nice, fluffy, white, small dog. Thank you so much. Thank you. And so I go to play with it. But something happens and this cute, small, fluffy dog bites me. And I experience pain and associate the pain, of course, with this white creature. I'm a child, I don't know exactly what it is. But now in my mind, the dogs, and especially the white fluffy ones, danger. So what I do, I don't stay there. In my mind, I start creating more thoughts, and I don't stay only with dogs, but whatever is white and whatever is fluffy. And maybe it is a small cat, or maybe in my imagination, anything that is white, it might be even, so to speak, cotton. But I make some association and I start having fears more about things that are not connected really with anything that can justify this fear. So this is one, and I present it in a very, very general way. But if we track back in our lives, we'll see that we have some fears just because we have made some associations. And we're not even aware that we're doing this. And we end up being afraid of things because they remind us of something that is not directly connected. But I would like us, yes, please. I think it gets worse. Usually it gets worse. Why? Because if it is not addressed in the right way, then we use the fear, we use this response. And every time we use something, it becomes stronger. This happens at the physical level. If you use a muscle, this muscle becomes stronger. If you use a pattern within you, it becomes more natural. It goes on the autopilot and becomes more strong as a feeling, whatever we use. I noticed during COVID, actually, that I think we all spend more time with ourselves. And I was very lucky to be in a very lovely place on the mountains of Shuf in Beirut, outside Beirut, in a very quiet place. And I started doing some things for the first time, some habits, I don't remember exactly. And then I realized that I tended to repeat them. And then by the end, I had developed certain habits. And it was very clear to me how habits have a beginning. We all know this, that certain things, you do them for the first time, then it's easier to do them second time, and then much easier third and fourth. And before you know it, you're not even aware, you're not even choosing to do it. You just do it out of habit. So the same thing with feelings. Sometimes we interpret certain situations in a way that we create certain feelings towards these situations. And then we have the tendency to interpret in the same way, and we generate the same feelings. And these feelings then come automatically, like instantly. You see the situation, the feeling comes. In the beginning, no. It was not maybe like this instant response. You interpreted something, you analyzed something, and you created a feeling. But then the feeling comes automatically without really any process. Maybe it might be a person. You see a person, in the beginning have some feelings good, then you start analyzing some behaviors, and then you create a certain filter about this person, and you have always the same filter. You start using this same vision, and when you see the person, immediately you have the feeling, you have created it, and the feeling comes automatically without you having to do anything else in between. So now let us see why we have these fears towards life, different aspects of life. So we already said that the fear is very much connected with the fear of losing something. Let us see, first of all, if we ever have anything. We use the word have, I have this, or if we don't use the word have, we say mine and mo, my and mine. Mo is in Greek, actually. We say my and mine all the time. How many times have we used the word my today?
A million?
How many?
Million.
A million, maybe? And mine? Many times throughout the day. We may not verbally, but we have a feeling that we possess things. Imagine yourself in your house. My house, my key, my clothes, my chair, my children, my room,
My toothbrush.
my toothbrush, everything that we are using. There is a sense of mine. And if someone comes close to what we consider mine, we have some feelings. We feel a threat, some subtle threat that may do something with it. Right? Is it like this? So with whatever, anything that in our perception is ours, this is associated with a subtle feeling of loss subconsciously. We're afraid that we may lose this object or this person or this position or this body or this relationship or the opinion of others about me. There are so many things that we consider ours, and we are afraid that we may lose them. So I would like you now, just for a couple of minutes, to reflect by yourself. You don't need to write something, but just see within you, in your mind, what are the 10 main things or aspects of life or people or whatever that you have the word, like you feel a very strong sense of mine. And I think the first thing that we all consider ours is what? The body. Our body. Let's say my body. The biggest sense of ownership and rights over is over the body. We consider it completely ours. In my body, it's very close to us. And not only we say my body, but we say I the body. Whatever is, there is so much connection with the body that not only I consider it mine, but I consider myself that I am the body. One thing is to think that I possess something, and another thing is to think that I am what I possess. The first is called attachment. The second is called identification or ego. When we speak about ego, basically what we are saying is that I am something beyond myself. I describe myself based on something outside myself. And also I'm attached to that. Is it clear? So I would like us now, just for a couple of minutes, to stay with ourselves and check, apart from the body, which is the first big possession or thing that we think that is ours. Of course, someone can ask here, if it's not mine, then whose is it? I carry this all the time. Who does this body belong to if it's not mine? I think Anna is mine. I take her. I do with Anna whatever I want. If it's not mine, whose is it? I mean, I have rights over her, right? So I will come back to this, to whom the body belongs to. So, okay, just these 2 minutes with the self to reflect. And if you can prioritize also the mine, like the biggest mine or mine. Thank you. So after the body, would you say that you put the word mind to the body? Yes, first. What's next? Kids, my kids.
Health issue.
Health issue, my health. Right, right.
Freedom.
But my kids also, my kids is a big one. For the ones who have children, this sense that they're mine is quite strong. I don't have kids, but I can imagine I have a father for sure, and I know out of love how he considered his children in a way his. We mix the responsibility, we mix somehow this sense of they belong to me. So one is children, and in general people, don't you have this feeling that people belong to you? It might be even a husband who is not like the children, because the children, especially for the mother, the way the whole nature is, it is as if the child is an extension of you. So there is somehow this sense of mine, but we'll see whether it is right or whether it is the right attitude or not. So children, and then relationships in general, It might be friends, it might be partner, relatives, or in general, relationships with people. So would you agree that after the body, the next strong sense of mind is in connection with children and with people more than objects?
Family has.
Family, we would say, is the first sense of mind. Correct, very true. And can we understand why this happens, why we have the sense of mind more with people rather than objects? For some people might be objects. The other thing is objects, whatever this body is connected with.
Our children can leave anytime.
Right. But why we have the tendency to have the sense of mind with people, or a bigger attachment? I will say attachment, because mind also means attachment. I think
Principles, subjects. With objects, you can replace,
right,
stuff like that, but when you have.
right,
relative,
very sure, absolutely. It's a connection. This is where I would like to come, actually. You know, as we're going to say a little bit later, in what we call human being, there are two aspects. One is, of course, the body. And within this body, some of you already have heard this model that we are using here, this that we suggest to experiment with, that within this body, and in fact, we know this, we can confirm it from our own experience, that within this body, there is the living aspect, the self, the soul, that is this one who thinks, who feels, who imagines, who analyzes, who remembers. Okay, this is the real I, in essence. So there are two aspects in each one of us. One is the body, that is a form of energy that is not living, as we call it, or non-conscious, does not have awareness that it exists. And there is another form of energy, which is the soul, I, the soul. And it is like a source of awareness, someone who knows that he exists. I know that I exist, the soul, the real I, the soul. I, the soul, know that I exist. Now, each one of us has certain qualities. Not the body has qualities like organs that have functions, but as this subtle entity, being that I am, I have certain characteristics. I have a nature. One of my characteristics is love. So when I see someone, another human being, our nature is to share love. But our love is misplaced. That's the problem. Because our sense of existence is misplaced. Instead of seeing the self as a soul, we see the self as a body. And I would like to use an example that I heard recently and I liked. Someone was saying, a wife was saying that in their home, they have an animal. They have a dog. And the dog loves very much the husband, very much. The wife as well, but she loves the husband. The dog loves the husband. So when the husband goes to the bedroom, the dog goes to the bedroom and is behind all the time, the husband. He goes to the bathroom, he's outside the door, he's moving his tail, waiting when the husband will come out from the bathroom. When the husband now goes to the job, he takes the shoe of the husband and he sits next to the shoe until the husband comes. So the animal has extended, the dog has extended the existence of the one who he loves to the objects that are related to this person, to the shoe. So in a way, the same thing we do with others, with human beings. But instead of loving the soul, we love the body. The body is like the shoe of the soul. And we become attached to the body, and we create wrong feelings connected with other person. We have the feeling of fear. We are afraid that we are going to lose the other person. But in fact, what we can lose is the body, because the only thing that goes is the body. The body is perishable. The one who is using the body is imperishable. But we don't we have lost this sense, I would say, or this clarity. And we can't see that the real person is a soul, is a being, is a subtle being that is imperishable, never dies, just changes shoes. And we think that the person is the shoe. And the body, of course, at some point will go. But we know how death, when we see, because the fear of death was already mentioned, it's a big one. It's nothing else except that the owner of the shoe goes somewhere else and wears another shoe. But he was never the shoe. Why were, like, he continues to exist. All of us are eternal. We continue to exist. We just change bodies. But I would like to actually continue and see a little bit more this phenomenon of attachment and identification. Because if we understand it, we'll really find solution to many of our problems, individually, but also collectively. So I would like to use another example. So maybe from what I saw, actually, some of you entered this room for the first time. Some others have come here many times, but a few came for the first time. So we all go to places for the first time, and we all meet people for the first time. So, but let's stay with the place. So you come here, and you don't know what you're going to meet, and you don't know the color of the room or the objects, what is here, the atmosphere. But now you come here and you sit on a chair, and funnily enough, it is so fast. We so quickly create a sense of mind to things. Even with chairs, let's say you come and you didn't know the chair, and all the chairs are more or less, they're the same. And you come and subconsciously you choose one chair and you leave something there, and you go out for 2 minutes, and then you come back and someone else sits on the chair, and you already have feelings while he's sitting on my chair. Already.
Especially when you go to the break and you come back.
Yes, exactly. When you go outside for a break and you come back and you're looking for your chair, and you can get a little bit grumpy with the person that sat on your chair, right? You can look a little bit, when he comes to speak, you are a little bit upset.
But you as a speaker, you don't have this issue.
The speakers.
Your seat is reserved.
You should check it. You should check it out. Let's say I go out for 5 minutes to drink water and I see someone else sitting here. I may have some thoughts. I don't know. I will try not to, and not to show them.
It's not somebody. It's not by purpose. Maybe he doesn't know that this place belongs to me.
Actually,
What belong to you?
our point is that it doesn't belong. Yes, you're right, but they don't have the intention. But our point also here is that just because I saw something and I left my things on it, it doesn't mean that it belongs to me. It is in my mind, it doesn't belong to me. I am just, what does it mean it's mine? I didn't even know its existence 5 minutes ago. And all of a sudden, I created this sense of possession. And if something belongs to me, then I create feelings. As we saw, the feeling of upset why he took my chair, or it might be anger also. Or I may have the fear that someone else will take my chair. If I see, for example, someone looking at the chair, like, oh, they have some plans to take my chair, I can become paranoid with just because I created this sense of mine. Wow. Yes, yes, of course. So welcome. We see who is on Zoom. So can we see how it is all in a way a game of in our mind, this sense of mine, and the more time we spend with something or someone, the more the stronger the sense of mineness we create. So one thing is to come in a room and to be guest to a room, and you have the option either to come in the room, use the place, enjoy, and come free. No, come free. You remain free. You use the play. You use the object, and then you come out, and you are free. You leave the chair where it is. The other option is you come free. You tie yourself, and when you want to go out of the room, you cannot, because you want the chair, and the chair cannot come out of the room. It's very big. So it's not that it's big, but it creates complications. You can't really have the things that you think that they belong to you with you all the time to feel secure, but yes.
If you leave the chair and you go, and then you can be thinking about this chair all the time, and you can't sleep, and you will miss the chair, and you will want to go back to the chair. Right?
It is the same thing, exactly. When we say you want to take the object with you, or you want, it is not about physically taking the object. It is the attachment, what makes you, while you're in another place, thinking of that object in different ways, missing it, desiring it to be with you, to feel good, being afraid that something may happen to it. So this is the way we live in our mind, because it's not that we carry physical objects wherever we go, the ones that we like, of course not. But in our mind, we are tied. That's why we cannot live on the present. Yes.
It happens to us when we buy a new car. When we buy a new car, we're always thinking about if it's going to be damaged and so on. In our mind.
It's going to be scratched. It's
Yeah.
going to be, yes. I remember.
But if you have an old car, you don't care.
Yes, when you have an old car, or when you don't have a car,
Oh,
you are so free.
Yeah.
I never had a car, and I must admit, in my life, it's big freedom.
Yeah.
And when you don't have something, you don't miss it, actually. I never felt that I needed a car, the absence of a car. And one of the reasons, anyways, it's not so important why, but one of the reasons is because they didn't give me the license when I was 18 years old
So you're lucky.
in Greece, because they wanted money to bribe. And I said, no. And then I started traveling in different countries, so I was in one place. But anyways, I feel, I see people how they need the car, or the mobile. When we did not have the mobile, there were times for some of us, we know these times, where we didn't know mobile, we didn't have mobile. We didn't need it. Now, is when you go out without the mobile, you go back in panic to take it. Panic. I didn't get the mobile. You know, and also, like when someone calls, in the past, the only possibility is when you are at home, and life was working very well. Now, if someone calls, I'm driving with 200 kilometers, I have to answer. I have to, and I see the panic because I never drive, but I'm the next to the driver or behind. I see how they get disturbed. They have to leave the driving to go back to the back, you know, to see who is calling, as if it is so urgent. What habits are these that we have created? We're afraid of what? The news cannot reach us a little bit later. What are we afraid of? This is a fear also of not replying.
Becomes a habit.
It has become a habit. It has become.
Expect you to have phone. If they go, they expect that's the society.
That's their issue.
Right. But then it's up to us to create a new culture where, yes,
There are certain things that change humanity, not just our life, whatever. And one of them is technology. Another one is environment. Third one, globalization. I mean, you are absolutely right. We lived at a time where life was too slow. Now we are playing catch up.
yes, but also we are the ones who are doing it. It's not happening to us. We are also responsible.
Contributing. We are contributing.
We are contributing, absolutely.
I think we are formed into this channel of things. I mean, take, for example, education. Okay, try to send the kids without a notebook or a laptop. They
Right,
don't give them books anymore.
right. But we can find our own also way in the global way. We can always have a choice on how we do things. Otherwise, if we think only like this, which is true, then how can we change? How can we bring some improvement on what we don't like? Because we all realize that something is not right with all of this. But I would like us to go a little bit more into this subject of fear, which is connected with attachment and identification. So let us come back to the example of the car. I remember many years back, in the beginning when I was in Lebanon, we're talking about 2004, 2005, there were some very lovely people who were coming to the center there. Now they're outside the country. And for obvious reasons. And we were sharing some thoughts about attachment. And we were giving the example, what if someone gets a new car and he has a very nice new car, a Mercedes, parked exactly under his window so he can check what's going on. And all of a sudden, he can hear a noise like someone has got a coin and does this to the car. This person would feel as if it happens to him. He would feel a pain within him, as if they're scratching him, you know. So we're giving this example, and I remember there was this very lovely brother. His name was Summer, and he was laughing a lot. So that day we had organized to go for a small excursion in the Cedars, and we were 5 in his very lovely, quite new car, not brand new, but the last 2-3 months. And so we're all very happy. It was a lovely, lovely day. I still remember it. And as we were in the car, all of a sudden, he goes on the top of a stone, and we hear a bang, bum, something like this in the car. And then we see him like he screamed, as if it happened to him. You know, his face was like, and he was the one that in the morning was laughing with the example about the car. So this is identification. What does it mean? There is something there. In the beginning, I have created this relationship that this is mine. How I make something mine, I give some paper, some dollars, some dinners, and it's mine. And it's all an attitude in the mind, the way I think about it, because this is there and I'm here. But in my mind, I create a thought which is like a chain that in a way ties me with this. And with time, not only that object that is there is mine, but subconsciously, it is as if I am the object. So whatever happens to the object, it is as if it happens to me. And so this is how fears are created. Fears are totally associated with the phenomenon of identification. So yesterday we were using a kind of model. Most of you, I think, were in the session yesterday, but even if you were not, it doesn't matter. We can just make some reference to it. Here we are using a model, and I would like us to bring it in our attention now, and then reflect on it, have some meditation together. So the model we are using is that there is this physical world that consists of many objects. And we could see the whole physical world as a room, as a house with many rooms, if you want. Yesterday we used the example of a box, like a box. Or if you see the planet Earth from a distance, if you change perspective, you can see it smaller and you can see it as if there are different spaces. In fact, it's one, but we have divided in our mind and we say this is Australia, but it's one, right? So this is there. And it has different objects, and from a distance, it looks like very small. When we zoom in, everything appears bigger. The same with our body. The body has a great analogy, like it's very much compared with the galaxies. I have a very nice video when you zoom in the body and you see how immense it is. And then you zoom out and you go towards the galaxies. And then again, you see that there is a nice analogy between the two. One is
Say how many trillion cells in the body?
trillions of cells. In the same way, there are trillions of galaxies, and depends on your position from where you see things. If you see from the position of the cell, the body looks like a universe. If you see the universe from up above, it looks like a body. It depends from where you see things. So if we see now planet Earth from another perspective, small, there are different objects. And at some point, this sense of what we call birth, I got birth. What does it mean? That someone takes a body, in the beginning it's fetus and then becomes bigger, and we use this body for some time, and then we leave this body. So there is an entry and an exit to our body.
Unless you are trying to live forever.
Unless, and there are people who think that they will make their bodies eternal, but eternity is something that we know, is a quality that we know, but this quality belongs to the self, to the soul. So we use this body for a short time. What do? We start using the word mine, mine, mine. And not only mine, I don't say Anna is my name. I say my name, but I also say I am Anna. I don't say the gender of the body is female. I say I am woman. I am woman. So I describe myself with the characteristics of the body. And not only I describe, I feel them. When I put the word I, the label I to something, I am this. I am tired. The body is tired. I create the feeling of tiredness and I feel it and I say I'm tired. But when I start seeing the separation between the self and everything else that the self uses or is associated for some time, and then I leave, this is freedom. Then I can experience the real I. And when I experience the real I is eternal. I, the soul, am eternal. It's not the body that is eternal. I am eternal. And when I realize my personality, that I as a soul am eternal, I am complete, I'm full, I come here complete. I don't come here on this planet to add to my existence, to complete my existence. I am already full, and I come here to express, to experience and express my fullness through certain objects. I need the body, like an astronaut would use his costume there for that planet. I use this body, I need this body for this physical dimension. But I'm not this body, I use it. And because I use it doesn't mean it's mine. I am a trustee. This is a nice way of living life, that I am a guest for a short time and also a trustee. I have been given these objects that belong to Earth. In the beginning, we said, to whom does this body belong if it does not belong to me? It belongs to Earth and it goes back to Earth. It is
Dust to
Earth, dust to dust. It is there. It takes a form, dust takes a form. For me to use it, according to the role I have recorded within me, I create the body. I use the body and then I leave it. So I'm just using it for a short time.
So the body is a car.
The body is a car, absolutely. The God is a costume. So if I start creating this relationship while I am in the body now, I will not have the fear of losing it. I will not have the fear of dying, that I'm going to die. This is a big illusion. Death is a big lie. I am not dying. I'm just leaving something. If I'm sensible enough while I'm using something to know that it's not me, then nothing happens when I leave the body. So I'm using this mic. I'm a trustee in the sense I'm using it, and I respect it also, right? I've been given it to make use of it. I feel gratitude that I use it for some time. And then when the time goes, like comes in a few minutes, I leave it. I'm grateful that I had it, but I leave it. I don't have any problem. I don't think that I'm dying because if something happens to the microphone, I don't have the feeling that I'm dying because I didn't put the label I to the microphone. So I just go. It is here. I am here. I go. It remains here. Someone else will use it. Very clear, like enjoyable. You make the best use of them with very good feelings, and you go and you leave it where it belongs. The same thing with our body. The same thing with relationships, human relationships. They come in our lives, and especially the children that we consider as ours. No, the mother gives the body to the child, but there is also the living energy that is using the body as a guest to matter. So we are interacting with souls, with other actors, as we say, for a short time, to exchange beautiful feelings, and then we meet other actors through other bodies. And our aim is to have relationships of love with whoever we meet. But if I start creating, I become familiar with people that I'm spending more time with. And usually what we do, which is the problem, is that because at this point of time, we have forgotten ourselves. We have misplaced the sense of I to our body, and we don't experience our qualities. We experience the role we play through the body. We don't experience the self, that I'm happiness, that I'm love. So in our relationships, because the human nature is to share, what happens is that what I cannot now experience from within, because I don't see myself as I am, and my attention is always out there. So I don't give my attention to my qualities to feel them, because everything to be felt needs attention. So I think that others are the source of my feelings and my qualities. So if I meet a person, this person creates a feeling, stimulates a feeling from within that is mine, or love or whatever. But then I think that they are the source. And because love or happiness are the oxygen for the soul, I will never let go of wanting to feel them because this is our nature. So to want to feel love or happiness or security or contentment or joy or lightness or freedom, this is a very healthy sign to want to experience them if I don't experience them. This is very healthy because this is our nature. But to want to experience them from someone else, to make someone else the source of what I already am the source of, this is big mistake. That's why we're afraid of losing people, because in fact, we are afraid of losing the feelings that are already within us, and we are the source of them. But
they-
because there is this,
They ignited that feeling, that's why.
they became the mirror according to how we interpret them. Because the same people later, we may interpret them in another way, so they don't emerge the same feelings to us. They emerge other feelings to us, and we don't like them anymore, and we're not afraid if we lose them. So our situation, just this, and then of course, our situation is so tragic. Imagine if the sun is afraid to lose the warmth and to lose the light. Let's say he's next to a star and he thinks that the star makes him have light and heat when he's the source. This is what happens to us. We are love, each one of us. No one else can create this feeling. Each one of us is the source of love, happiness. Yes, please.
Yeah, I want to fear and certain things which I fear, especially me. In last 25 years, it did not happen any of the reason. It was all imaginary. What do you think?
Very good point.
Yes.
A very good point.
It did not happen anything at
anything.
all if I look back.
Right, right. Thank you very much for this observation, because really this shows to us what we are doing to ourselves, how merciless we are to ourselves to create all these feelings unnecessarily, and nothing then happens. Thank you for the observation. I would like actually to perhaps stay here and maybe before we finish with some exercise, so that you can start practicing it and reinforcing it, so that we experience what we call the original stage, the fearless stage. This is one of our aims in this spiritual journey, to go back to our original nature, which does not know any negative feeling, no matter how not realistic or may sound, but this is our nature. And in order to experience the fearless stage, in this case, or any negative or lack of any negative stage, we don't fight the negativity. It is good to understand some basics in terms of how the negativity was created, and that there is no reason to exist. So to know that really these negative feelings are not our nature, and then we'll be able to focus on our nature when we know that the negativity does not have a reason of existing. So we just made an introduction about the fear, the basics of fear, which is connected with attachment and with identification. But I would like us to summarize and have some exercise. But before that, maybe if you have something to ask. I see you're fully attentive, and thank you very much for this. But perhaps there are more questions than what you had before you came. Yes.
You said that security and love is us. So we had to experience losing the person that gave us this love and security to get this information that everything is within you, go find it in yourself. But it's not easy. I had an incident that I have security with someone, and I had an incident with someone, so I didn't feel safe for a long time. And whenever I do therapy, they say, this is within you. The security is within you. The safety is within you. And I had this journey by finding the safety and security within me, but there's no clear You said it yesterday in the seminar that we are. It's from the source and you are security and you, but if there's steps or ways to get there, like
Right.
feeling love with myself, feeling secure with myself.
Very nice. Yes. Thank you very much. I think this is very important. That's why we're here.
Yes.
All these explanations are for us to ultimately be able to feel the security
Yes.
within us. Okay, very good. So we'll do some practice now. That will be the answer. Anything else? Is it clear, the concept? Is it clear that each one of us is an eternal being? Experiment with this model that enter this world where everything changes, everything. That's why we're afraid also, right? Because everything changes, we're afraid to lose. And we will experiment now. Anything else you would like to share? Any observation while we're sharing this, some realization or some question? And of course, we have the Harmony House, which is not the building that it's the Harmony House, but the knowledge that is being shared through this place. And so you're always welcome for more clarifications and to sustain the experience of fearlessness or of absence of negativity. Because if I learn how to reflect on one feeling and how to let go of that feeling, I can do it for all the rest of the feelings. So just to make sure that the sound of the AC doesn't interfere with the voice and you can hear me equally well. Okay. So always when we want to go a little bit deeper in ourselves until it becomes more natural to be constantly myself, like we're doing now, we find a comfortable position for the body, as comfortable as possible, but not too comfortable so that we can have a snooze, which is not a problem, especially if we suffer from insomnia. But better not here, not now, for the next few minutes. But comfortable means also the back a little bit straight. And if you have things in your hands, in your lap, better to let go, like just to feel free. And no mobiles. We don't look at our mobiles. Is anyone looking at his mobile secretly? No. You know how we have become experts. We are sitting like this. Sometimes it's like this, but we see everything. So, and some of us may have heard these thoughts in the past. Let us aim to give them proper attention. And attention is a key word. Concentration is a key aspect to the experience. In anything, when you give it attention, you feel it deeper. So now we want to give our attention to subtle aspects. And first, yes, some deep breaths. We inhale from the nose, counting up to 4. We hold a little bit the breath and then we exhale. And we really allow the body to relax. And we can have our eyes gently focused somewhere in front of us, or if you feel more comfortable to close them, this is also fine. And we give ourselves the opportunity to become more clear, more aware of what's going on in our inner life, inner world. That is, we give our attention to these invisible activities that happen within us. There are thoughts all the time. There is someone who thinks, someone who speaks within my head all the time, 24 hours, 7. Second to second, there is someone who comments all the time. So now we acknowledge this inner self-talk. Yes, there is someone talking, commenting about everything. And this one who talks about other people, about situations, and about things of this physical world. This one talks about the past, the future, about other people, stories, different stories in the mind. So we see all these stories, how they appear. And interestingly enough, they also disappear. So there are stories within the head and also outside, beyond the body. There are so many things that happen. We now become aware of both. The world around us is ongoing, things happen, and the world inside our head, so many things come and go, thoughts and feelings. So we become aware of both. But also now we see that there is the one that is aware, that can observe those words. Who is this one who is now clear that thoughts come and go and the physical world, scenes come and go, people come and go? Who knows about both of these worlds? So what we do now is just create an image in our mind of a star. Not a physical star, it is like a physical star, but it's an image. We can say like a point, a source. So we create this image and we give our attention to this star. We start realizing that we have lived all our life by giving our attention to what's happening out there and to the stories in our mind. totally ignorant of the presence of this star. This star is a living star. It's like a presence, someone who is the observer of the thoughts. Thoughts come with feelings. There is a thought about the body. There is a thought about the person. These thoughts bring feelings. But now we see that there is this star that observes the thoughts and the feelings. Maybe there is fear, the thought of something can happen to someone, and this immediately, this thought brings the feeling of fear. We now experiment. Instead of giving our attention to the thought and the feeling, we give our attention to the star, who is like a presence, an observer to all the thoughts and all the feelings. The star is not the feeling, is the observer. And the more we keep our attention to this invisible star, then the thoughts of the fear, the feeling of the fear, is dissolving, is fading away. And we see that what creates tension or tense feelings is that we give them our attention. If the attention goes somewhere else, those feelings, no matter how strong they are in the beginning, they become less and less powerful. So let us experiment for the next couple of minutes, giving full attention on this silent being that is like a star. This star is silent. This presence is perfectly silent and peaceful. There is deep, deep peace within this being. I am this star. This star feels that is eternal. Immortal. No beginning, no end. Does not understand death. And has nothing. Comes on this body and that physical world as a guest for a short time, but does not belong to that physical world. There is a sense of fullness within this being. Is full, needs nothing, ever. This is the nature of this being. This being feels totally secure because has nothing to lose. We are these beings of light. We are these guests on this body, on this planet. And when we come back in the awareness of this body, of this room, we remain guests. A guest does not own anything, enjoys everything, uses everything, but is free. A guest feels so light, so free. So we, these stars, these subtle beings, start using the body again, using everything of this physical world, but with this personality, the one who is free, the one who owns nothing. So no fear to lose anything. So we come back, and just to say that although we call it practice or meditation, it is the truth. We should experiment living like this. And try for a day, try for an hour. How would it feel like when I go to the car, to use the car, to start creating the sense, it's not mine. It's a car that is there, I'm using it. I go back to my house. It's not mine. Really, Just play with it. How would it feel like? And then when you get a little bit of sense of it, very beautiful feelings will emerge and you will want more. So I would like to thank you very much for your attention. And is there something before we have the Toli? Is there something that to sweeten your, not only your soul, but your body? Anything, any insight, any comment, any observation, any?
Yes, there is 30 people in Zoom. They would like to thank you for this wonderful lecture. 30 people in Zoom, 30 souls. They would like to thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us.